And next up, one of our own city council members who's been very supportive of getting this new technology into our community.
Well, the first steps were demonstrations, not demonstrations in the street of one kind, but demonstrations of the car itself. The first time that I saw it was at a California Contract Cities meeting, and LA County sheriffs brought out one of the cars. Happened to be that I think Supervisor Burke was there at the time, so they had taken her around the parking lot. The meeting was held at one of the larger hotels in the South Bay, so they took her around parking lot. Parking lot's full. They come back, they give the report. They're talking about this thing. It was incredible. While they went through the parking lot, they picked up 2 cars that were wanted for some particular reasons. The scanning on the device was so quick that you could drive by at a pretty good clip, still pick up the cars and recognize them. So that was the first time we saw it. Second time we heard about it was during regional law enforcement, and they said, we want to come out and make a presentation. By then, a couple of our council members are starting to get interested in this. Because I'm on regional law enforcement commission at the time, we're particularly interested in it. So we arranged for a demonstration at one of the city council meetings, prior to the meeting.
Okay.
And I don't know whether or not all 5 members got to go in it at the time, but it was incredible. We got in the car, drove, left the parking lot, drove at regular street speeds, 45 miles an hour. And at the time, we could watch, there were 2 phenomena that occurred, but we could watch him drive by and start reporting about the license plates that he passed. Nothing exciting as identifying anything. But 2 things struck us about that. One was the speed at which you could do this.
Right.
Okay, that's mechanical stuff. But the second thing was, it made the officer driving the car a better officer for 2 reasons. One, because they could do, I forgot what they said, they could do 5 or 6 of these every 5 minutes or something like that. It took a while to do this manually. Well, here they could go through, I don't know, you'd get the statistics on it.
Right.
Much more rapid rate, 10 times what it was. And it made the deputy or whoever was driving the car safer to drive.
Absolutely.
And secondly, more efficient, because then they could be paying attention to other things. It was a no-brainer once you saw it. Coming back then to the council, meeting, we were taken by the technology, and we sounded, we were quite. I don't want to use the word excited for city council members, but we were quite taken by it, and we thought that this was a good use of city funds.
I wanted to ask you about that. Was there any resistance in the beginning? Like, do we need to spend the money on this?
I recall that there was a little conversation about it. Okay. Remember, we're a pretty conservative city when it comes to spending money. Right. I mean, we do talk about every item 2 and maybe 3 times. Okay, that may be one of the criticisms about us, but we're fiscally very conservative about that. Doesn't matter what part of the political spectrum you're on. Right. So what happened was, we concluded that 1 car devoted to our city was absolutely appropriate. We started talking about whether or not we wanted to do 2 cars right away, and we said, well, we'll wait, at the urging of the sheriff at the time. Right. Said we'll wait to see about it. Now we have a second one in the works. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Yes. But one of the other things that we were then exploring, because that technology is fastened to a car and you move. Well, we were also considering technology that was static, that you could put at an intersection, and have it reading. Well, now I'm not going to discuss all the merits of it because I don't know it. But what happened was, we learned that the expense related to putting it in a static environment at an intersection was the fact that it required multiple cameras. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you why, but we were looking at, instead of 1 or however many you were going to set on a car, mm-hmm. all of a sudden we're starting to hear between 4 and 8 cameras doing an intersection. They said, well, there's case law that requires that. We understood it. We were thinking about putting it in different places in the city. You would see a speed sign, right. Says you're driving this fast, fasten at that. And they said, no, that's not a good idea. So we're back to putting it on the cars, and we're looking actually to get our second car here in the not too distant future. I think you've talked to Captain Anda about the
Yes.
cost of them.
Right.
It's my understanding that the cost hasn't changed from the
No.
time that we bought the first one till today, which is very good news.
Right.
We were anticipating that the costs would go up significantly, but it has proven to be a great investment.
Well, I was going to say the proof is in the pudding, and after the capture of the suspect, the triple murder, I mean, that's amazing for everyone in the community to feel safer. I mean,
Absolutely right. I had some conversation with my colleagues. The two other council members who are still on the council at the time from the time we made the decision, Mayor Pro Tem Long and Councilman Stern. Mm-hmm. Well, we were taken by it then, and Doug Stern made a very insightful comment. He said, "This shows that government can make decisions that will affect the future in an insightful manner and make the right decision."
right.
And you used the right phrase. The proof is in the pudding. It has proven to be valuable, if for no other reason than that one arrest.
Right.
Now we know that there are other situations. We hear about them within the community, and that's a good thing. And for those people who might suspect and say, the city is looking at this for another way to be a speed trap or to gain money. First of all, we don't make money on tickets. We don't okay, we hear that, and it's a rumor, and it should be dispelled. But nevertheless, in this particular instance, it makes for a more efficient law enforcement team, the mechanical part of the car and the deputy driving it.
We hope you've learned a little bit more about the advanced surveillance and protection system. And remember, you can always go to lomitasheriff.com for more information. Until next time, stay safe. I'm Maria Serrao.